and welcome back to another episode of Strange Days True Crime, where we look at unsolved and solved murders and disappearances from Canada and all over the world. If you have a story you'd like me to cover, please email me at strangedays0000@outlook.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hope you enjoy. The mysterious unsolved death of Jeannette DePalma. Jeannette DePalma was born on August 3, 1956, and lived in Springfield Township, Union County, New Jersey. Jeannette and her siblings were raised as devout Christians and were an upper-middle-class family. Jeannette was described as having a bit of a wild side, but was a good Christian girl. On August 7, 1972, just 4 days after her 16th birthday, Jeannette told her mother she was going to take a train to see a friend. Her parents became worried when she did not return home later that night, and the next day filed a missing persons report on their daughter. 6 weeks would go by without any trace of Jeannette or where she may have gone, until September 19th. A dog had brought an arm in its mouth to an apartment complex where it was discovered, and the police were contacted, at which time they brought in bloodhounds. Police would locate Jeannette's body on a cliff in the Hoodile Quarry, known to locals as the Devil's Teeth. When the body was found, she was laying face down, and there are a few different accounts of what the scene looked like and how the body was actually found. Some reports stated that the body was surrounded with occult objects and wooden crosses. As well, the body looked to be placed in a makeshift coffin made out of logs. However, the medical examiner reported that she was found face down, surrounded by a rock formation. Because Jeannette's body was so badly decomposed, the medical examiner would identify her through dental records. It was also stated that they could not perform an autopsy because of the decomposition, and they could not determine her cause of death, but believed it was strangulation. X-rays were taken, which showed no bullet holes, fractures, or traumatic injuries. The medical examiner also noted that there was an unusually high amount of lead in her remains, but could not explain why. Samples of Jeannette's clothing were sent for further analysis by the federal government. On January 3, 1973, Jeannette's underwear, blouse, and pants were tested, as well as the soil from the scene, which showed no evidence. The lab also did not find any poison or drugs in any of the samples they took. Investigators did find stains in her bra, blouse, pants, and underwear, but they were too decomposed for any semen and blood examinations, according to a report. News outlets soon caught wind of the story and began to write about the possibility of the young teen's death being connected to Satan worship and black magic. The news even reported on a number of sacrifices involving animals in Watchung Reservation Park, about 2 miles from where Jeannette was found. It was no secret that there had been an increase in witchcraft and satanic cults in the area, which furthered these ideas of what had happened to Jeannette. It was even said that in this park they had found pigeons with their necks snapped, a bowl of blood and feathers, along with burning candles. According to some, there had even been self-professed warlocks and witches in New Jersey during that time. Reverend James Tate, who was the pastor for the church in which Jeannette attended, told reporters he believed that Satanists had captured and then killed the girl because of her faith, and thought that she had lectured devil worshippers about Christ. There was even talk that the investigators had brought in a witch to help aid in the investigation, but this has not been confirmed. Police eventually were led to a man who worked at a local golf club as a caddy. However, it took them weeks to find the man, as he was a transient who had no address and no one knew his real name. Eventually, he was located, but police did not believe he was involved in the crime. There were other suspects, including a boy she had been dating and a watchman who lived in the quarry, along with a man who drove a red Ford Falcon, and there was even some who believed she may have been killed by a serial killer. However, investigators could not find links between Jeannette and any of these people. Some investigators started to think that maybe she had not been murdered, but that perhaps she had committed suicide or had overdosed while partying with friends. This too was hard to prove, as there was no evidence to support these theories. It was alleged that most of the evidence on Jeannette's case was destroyed in Hurricane Floyd, but in 2019, publishers Mark Moran and Jesse Pollock wrote a book about the case and obtained a case file which had photos of the crime scene and the body. A satanic imagery expert had looked at the photos and stated the rocks and sticks that had been placed around the body at the scene were not that of devil worshippers, but appeared to be random. In their book, they said their research led to evidence of a cover-up, as well as several unknown suspects and connections to other unsolved murders. In February of 2021, a private investigator filed a lawsuit to have the DNA test done on Jeannette's clothing, but the judge dismissed the case, stating that the retired private investigator had no legal relationship to Jeannette or anyone else. In the spring of 2021, Richard Cottingham, who is a convicted New Jersey serial killer, had wrote a series of letters to publishers Pollock and Moran, suggesting he may have abducted Jeannette and then killed her while she was hitchhiking. This would be sent to the investigators of the case, but no new updates on this have been released from police. The mysterious death of 16-year-old Jeannette still remains an unsolved mystery to this day, and it is unclear whether this was the act of witches or a satanic cult. Until her death is solved, we will never know. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories of these strange days we live in.